Hey there, I am now going to show you guys how to get that nice big sexy wavy hair that you see on all the Victoria's Secret models and Sports Illustrated girls, and just that nice big hair that seems like it's sort of undone. It's not that perfect curl, but somehow just falls perfectly every time. So anyways, as you can see, I've done this side of my head, but not this side. And I have a favorite tool for this that I love, but I will tell you how you can do it with just any curling iron as well. But this is my favorite set that I got. It is called Foreplay by Nume, Nume there. And it's a 4-part curling iron set, so you can see it here. This part here is the wand, and what happens is that you can press this little button right there, and it releases the top of the iron, and you can change it out for a bigger or smaller iron, so you can get any size curl that you want. For this curl, I have the kind of like medium size one. It's the third biggest one. This one right here is the biggest. I'll show you. This is the biggest one. This is the next one down. And then they get small like that. And that. Okay. For this look, I like this one, but you could also use the really large one if you just want to have like a softer kind of flip on the ends and just like a little curl at the end of your hair instead of it starting up here. I like using this one because it will last a little longer than the bigger curl, and you just kind of, I like a little bit of extra curl, a little beachy wave. So I'll show you how to use it now. Basically all you need to do, if you want, you can separate your hair into a top and bottom layer. That way you get a little more of a precise curl if you do it in smaller pieces. Okay, I like to start from the back, just the way I do, but you could start in the front too. Get a little chunk. You don't want it to be too big because it won't curl evenly, but you don't need it to be all that small because then it'll take forever if you do tiny pieces. Alright, so what you want to do, this is just one wand. You got to be careful, it's really hot. You don't want it to touch any of your skin because you will burn it. I have a few burns to prove that. So what I'm doing is I'm holding the barrel, wrapping my hair away, all the way down to the end of the hair, okay, and I'm just holding it, but I'm not touching the iron, okay, and then just hold it for 10 seconds, probably 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, drop it, and then you get that nice little curl there. I like starting from the back so that I can just move those out of the way towards the back as I go. Do another piece. Wrapping away and holding at the end. 10 seconds, just about. And release. Okay, and then you throw it back. And you keep it in those little curls. Don't brush anything out until the very end. Again, wrapping over the top and away. And as you can see, I kind of like to get it pretty close to the root because I like to have, that adds to the body if you start the wave a little bit higher like that. If you want that look where it's like really flat on top and just waved on the bottom, then don't go quite as high as I'm going. You can just start wrapping it more like down here instead of towards the top. But we're trying to get that nice voluminous sexy hair, so I'm starting towards the top. Also, just so you know, the heat on this is at 180 Celsius. And I think that seems to be a pretty good heat for most hair styles. If you have really, really thick and dense hair, you might want to make it a little hotter. But this is pretty hot, so it will make it curl quickly and hold. Okay, so that's your bottom layer. What I'm going to do now is spray it with my favorite hairspray, which is L'Oreal Elnet. This particular one is for color-treated hair, which says here, and it has a extra strong hold and UV filter, which is nice for sunny Florida. And I just spray it over the curls. And spray this side because I didn't do that yet. Alright. Now, just let the rest of this down, kind of brush those other curls towards the back. Just want to make sure it's all smoothed out. So what I do before I do these is I just blow out my hair, but I don't usually need to do it all that perfectly because I'm going to be curling it after, but I want it to be all dry and at least somewhat smooth to start as a good base for the curl. So I'm doing the same as I was doing before. I wrap towards going away from me and down to the tip. Hold it for a few seconds and release. If you have extremely fine hair, you might want to hold it for less than 10 seconds or turn down the heat. And if you have really thick hair, you may have to hold it for a little longer than 10 seconds. You kind of be the judge on your own when you do a few test strips. So you go around towards the back like that. One thing I suggest as well is that you kind of practice this movement when it's off. That way you can kind of get a feel for wrapping your hair and holding it in this way without burning your hair, because sometimes that happens to people and it's kind of a disaster. Alrighty, so as you can see, we're almost done. It does not take that long at all. And if you don't have this curling iron set, or a set that just has a straight barrel like this, and you have one that has a clamp like most curling irons, then all you do is just don't touch the clamp. You just use the barrel as it is and wrap your hair around that. And I suggest doing it with probably like a 1-inch iron would be good. And you can do this same technique with a smaller iron, and it'll get a much curlier effect, but it's also really cute. And hold and release. Now I'm towards the front here, so I'm just separating my layers because I have some shorter layers up here up front. I like to do those last. Again, wrapping away to the end and release. And this one I kind of like to rub a little back and forth because I don't want it to be too curly right around my face. I want it to have that kind of nice sweep right there. Okay, so now it just looks like a bunch of ringlets. Turn that off so I don't forget. And spray all these. Okay. And I'm just going to flip my hair and tousle. And just use your fingers to run through it because you don't want to brush the curls out completely, but you want them to all flow together. So there you go. There's some lovely bouncy curls. And if you want to get more lift on the top here, you kind of just mess up your part, brush it backwards. And you can spray it like that. You can also tease around the crown of your head if you really want it to get big and poofy. If you're going to do that, you just take small sections like this, and you would just, with a little comb, brush against the hair towards the scalp, and then flip it back like that. And then spray. So there you go. Curly, wavy, sexy hair, and without that much time and not that difficult. Hope you enjoy.